And welcome back to another episode of the White Sox March to October. And I know it's been, I think, the longest drought without a new episode, but I was a little caught up with what I was trying to do before the end of Season 1 in Diamond Dynasty. But now that that's over with, we're back on the White Sox March to October. But where we left off here with this White Sox March to October, we're coming up on the halfway point in the season in terms of games. We've got a pretty substantial lead on the division, and I know we were pretty close to coming up on the draft, so I think that's the plan for today, is to play the next, what would it be, week or two of games and get up as close as we can to the draft without accidentally starting it, because if I accidentally start it, I don't know if there's a way to back out. So, but right off the bat here, we've got a game against Tampa Bay. We're down 1 here, and we have 3 innings to go, at least 3 innings at the plate. We might not need all 3 of those innings if we can make this comeback early. Ooh, and it's Vlad up. I wasn't even paying attention to see that. 22 homers for him on the year, 335 average. He wants that contract from us after the season. No homers on the board today, but we've got 3 doubles and 5 walks, so a lot of patience. Colson Montgomery, don't be making errors out at short, though. Kopech looks like he didn't have the greatest start, but then Schuster came in. Couple solid innings for him. He could still be on the mound, too. And it looks like we've got an 11-mile-per-hour wind blowing out to right field, so if Vlad wants to go oppo, or if one of our lefties want to step up. Oh, and we're going to get a free base immediately. I kind of didn't realize it was Joe Kelly on the mound, so I'm glad that first pitch was so bad, because there's something about Joe Kelly's delivery on this game that you just got to like pay extra attention to, because it's tough to pick up the release point. Oh, and yeah. Wait, hang on. Get back, Eloy. What are we doing straying off that far on a pop-up right there? Oh. Okay, and then they were immediately ready to go to a lefty once Dominic Fletcher steps up to the plate. I'm sticking with him, though. I know he's got a good clutch rating, and that's active now, even though that PCI looks pretty tiny for what I thought was a good clutch rating. Yeah, it's 75 clutch, so what is... Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. 93 clutch on the pitcher. And we got it. Wait, I assumed we got it. Okay, we are in there. Throw is offline. Dom Fletcher comes through. Lefty up the middle. Oh, Max Stassi? Why did it seem like he hit that so well? Oh my god. Turning on the up and in fastball. This team is on fire. I know it's been a little while, so my memory's a little rusty, but didn't we just go off in a game in the last episode? We put up like 8 runs, and now we're doing the same thing. Max Stassi, of all people, giving us the lead. Oh my god, and we're still not done. Look at me getting up to that fastball. That was up above the zone. When do I not only get the PCI up to the ball, but get it so far up that I hit it on the ground? Man, that dude didn't even get an out. Oh, but he painted the corner. All right. Guess that was the only way to sit me down this inning. All right, so we do still have Schuster out there. He's got plenty of energy left. I could just leave him in. Actually, you know what? I am just going to leave him in, but only for the one batter here. The matchups work out that way, to stay lefty-lefty against Josh Lowe, but then go to a righty for the next 2. And there we go. We got him, I think, out in front of the fastball, actually. All right, now I'm going to Johnny Lasagna. Is it because I just forgot to get Clay Holmes up and ready? Maybe. But also, I don't think we've actually seen him yet this year. Oh, yeah, and dude is... I forgot how much fun Johnny Lasagna can be to pitch with. Yeah, just no chance to do anything on any of those pitches. All right, there we go. Diaz gave me some trouble, but we get the weak rollover. Solid 2 outs from Johnny Lasagna, and all we got to do is close this one out. Ooh, Moncada, that's nice. Need that from him. He's one of the few players on the team this year that's struggling, even though he's primarily a backup, or I guess he's more of a platoon guy, but I think I glanced up and he was at a 160-something batting average. And Colson, no. No. And Duran, that's, yeah, okay. I mean, that was a pretty good swing, but nothing off the bat. So we don't add anything more on. It's all on Crochet to end this one. Oh, I think I clicked through. I wanted to see his numbers because I caught a glimpse as I was bringing him in. I thought it looked like his ERA was down to like 3.27, so that's a good sign. Started the year out a little rough, but slowly but surely has been getting those numbers back in order. Let's not do this, Crochet, man. Come on. Dude was up there just battling, fouling off pitch after pitch. It felt like I was playing ranked seasons. Oh, that'll be 2, though. That's how you make up for it, game. And there we go, a punch out to end it. We'll call it a 1-2-3 inning for the save for Crochet. 21 saves for him, another W. And oh, I actually completely forgot that we started that one losing. So that makes it even better. We get 5 fireballs. All right, so where's that gonna put us? We didn't really have much of a fireball going in. Now we do have quite the fireball. How many wins is this gonna get us? We better, okay, more scouting. I actually thought we were further in. I thought the last time we scouted was week 12. So we got a little bit more of a buffer than I thought before I would accidentally, you know, hit the draft. All right, so I'm changing starting pitching to the central region because I think that's the only region I haven't scouted starters from yet. We keep our second base scouting, and then I'm honing in on this dude. Just want to see what he might be. All right, so we get back to it. Sweep of the Rays. Now we're on to the Jays. And well, before we can sweep them too, we finally have our chance to call up Tyler Wells. The only question is, who do I send him down for? And yeah, it's still, I mean, I didn't think it was all of a sudden magically gonna let me send down Davy Garcia, but there's always that hope. But no, I mean, you have to send down Miguel Castro. Wells is a clear upgrade over him, and Castro, he's only pitched 2 innings so far. The CPU just will not use the guy. So Tyler Wells is coming back up after 56 innings in AAA with a .8 ERA. Unfortunately, that means Miguel Castro's got to get sent down, but he wasn't really doing anything for us with those 2 innings pitched. Now I guess the question is, do I want to move Wells into the starting rotation or leave him as a reliever? We also didn't lose either of those next 2 games, so we're still on a pretty massive winning streak. Up to a 50-31 record. Actually, wait. What? It says we're only on a 1-game winning streak, but we didn't lose any of those games. I don't know. Sometimes March to October is weird. Maybe we did actually lose one of those games and it just didn't bother to tell me. But we are up to the 3rd ranked team here. 2nd in pitching after getting Tyler Wells back. Man, it's just we have so many long relievers. Tukey, Schuster, Wells, and Davy Garcia, all with their 70+ stamina ratings. I don't know, man, because both Jake Eater and Kopech are struggling. Kopech even more. He's up at a 5.79 ERA. I don't get it. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to do about him. All I know is after his contract runs out, he's probably not somebody I'm gonna worry about bringing back. It's not worth the headache of figuring out what the best role is for this guy within March to October. I don't know. I think just for the time being, I'll leave Tyler Wells out in the bullpen. I don't know if it's the best move to have 3 long relief pitchers, but even with 2, it seems like the long relievers get used more than anybody else. So maybe a 3rd one will be the best way to get Tyler Wells used. Anyway, though, this situation they put us into is not an easy one. We're down 1 again. We've already put up 3 this inning, though. So I guess we must have a little bit of momentum on our side. Maybe they've got a struggling pitcher out there, but we got to put 1 run across this inning to keep the game alive. Vaughn's already got a homer today, and I saw as we were loading in there, talking about pitchers who are struggling. Jake Eater, 2 2/3, gave up 7 runs, 5 earned, and then Tukey coming in for the next 5 1/3 and shutting it down. We also have 3 homers on the board, one of them from Estevan Florial. I think this is the first game that I've gotten into where it's a Florial game, and he's gone deep. His average is at 275. I mean, he's putting together a season, man. Maybe I don't need to complain about him anymore. All right, it looks like they did just bring in Tyler Holton, though, and that could have been a pitch to do damage on. And we draw the walk after a battle at the plate. Do we want to bring in the speed? Well, actually, the speed was starting today. The speed I was referring to was Garrett Hampson, but he's not on the bench today. I don't know. We'll leave Vaughn out there. Give Luis Robert his day off. Because Garrett Hampson is going to deliver. I don't know what it is about this guy, but he might be one of my favorite signings so far of the year. It seems like every time he's in the game when I load in and I get to take an at bat with him, I do nothing but get on base. And there's the walk. Left it just a little bit above the zone. We've loaded up the bases with nobody out. 4 singles on the day for Benintendi. I'd be fine with a 5th. Or you know what? Yeah. Why not more than a single? I agree, Andrew. I actually couldn't tell. I hesitated for a quick second there as soon as I made contact because I didn't immediately see where the right fielder was. But that ball was smoked. I don't even know if it would have mattered if he was playing more down the line. I mean, look, we did it again. Another come from behind. Well, I can't call it a victory yet, but another comeback. And on that one swing, not only did we, you know, make the comeback, but we took the lead. We also still have 2 runners in scoring position with still nobody out. And another walk. Load him up again. Man, and that Moncada average is down to 157. I think it's safe to say he's another player I don't have to worry about bringing back after this season. And yeah, that's what the 157 hitter is going to do for you. Now let's get a real hitter up to the plate like Florial. Ooh, okay. That's probably on me if I'm missing a pitch like that. We really had a chance to do a lot more damage than just take a 1-run lead, but that's what we're left with. So here's Crochet again. We get another look at him, and there's his numbers. Down to a 3.13 ERA now after his rough start. So I don't know. I don't know the exact math on this, but if he gets through this outing, does that drop him below a 3? Okay, I was confused when the ball didn't appear immediately. I was like, there's no way that he just hit that out. Oh, and we got the ball on the ground. That was so close to being a 3-pitch save. And there we go. All right, he couldn't catch up to the heat. Another punch out, another save for Crochet, and another come from behind win. That's 2 in this episode, and they gave me less. What? How does that make sense? Both games down a run, but last game against the Rays, we had 3 innings at the plate, or we would have had 3 innings at the plate if I needed the bottom of the 9th. But in this one, we only had the 1 inning to produce a run, and they give me 1 less fireball? But 4 more fireballs, that gives us a pretty big fireball still. And it does. I see now it went back, and now it says that game against the Jays was a loss. And yeah, I feel like once again, when I hone in on a specific outfielder, they end up not looking as good as I had hoped. I think all that happened here was the upper end of that potential went down. Looking at all of his future attributes, all that's looking worse. It was all green, I think. All right, I'm going to move that guy to scout center fielders from the West just to build up the back end of our draft. There was a few dudes a little lower ranked out there, so I don't want to be completely in the dark in the later rounds. But also, scouting these second basemen, I mean, I want to go 1 more week of it, but if it stays to where it's at now, we might have found the guy that I'm going to be looking to draft, and it might even take some luck, because our scouts have determined that this dude, Andres Pinto, he's ranked overall the 73rd prospect to be drafted, but our scouts have him all the way at the 3rd overall. So we do have 3 picks before that 73 spot, but we've seen it in the past. Other teams can find this stuff out too. So if he is actually as good as our guys say he is, it's probably unlikely that he falls all the way to the 30th pick, but if he's there, I think this is the dude we got to take. But again, we do have to see. We still have 30% left to scout him, so maybe he falls off a cliff. But I'm thinking we should see a week 14 and then the draft. So we should have 1 more week of scouting. So I think we're safe to play 1 more game, whichever pops up next here in the sim. We're winning a bunch more games, but I guess we never know if we actually won. And hang on a second, more trades. First of all, though, I could have sworn that I added Brian Ramos to my untouchables, so he shouldn't be showing up here unless I just forgot to, which I have a memory of sitting down and putting him on there and taking Jeremy Bench, the 1 pitcher I drafted, taking him off. So unless somehow I didn't follow through with that, or somehow the game didn't save, which you don't have to manually save March to October, then I don't know. I would think you shouldn't be seeing somebody that you've listed as an untouchable in a trade, because if it wasn't for Brian Ramos, I'd be all about this trade. I don't know. I won't write it off immediately yet. I want to see what the other 2 trades are, and then maybe we'll come back to this. But the Royals, an in-division trade, they're offering up a pitcher of their own, Kyle Wright, and actually this one is more ideal in terms of who we're giving up. It's the same 2 pitchers, but instead of Brian Ramos, it's Yoan Moncada. I guess we should actually look at what Kyle Wright brings to the table, though, because he's a B potential himself. He's 29 years old, so he's probably not going to get a whole lot better. He's also got this year and 1 more of team control. He's not having a good season so far, and he hasn't had a good last couple of seasons. But I do like the pitch mix. He has good stamina. His per-nines aren't great, but they're also not terrible, and he has good clutch. And you got to remember, making this trade gives me a chance to player lock with him, and while it wouldn't give him the attribute boost, it would give him the 1, 2, or 3 plus performance boost, which could could turn these bad numbers around, especially if I had a 3+ game with him. I don't know. I guess we should look at the last trade too, just in case, even though I'm liking what this trade offers. So the Rays, they're looking to give me Aaron Savali. This one might be more tempting. We'd be getting a similar quality arm. If you would have asked me if Aaron Savali and Kyle Wright were the same age, I would not have told you they were. I would have thought Aaron Savali was in his 30s, and I would have thought Kyle Wright was like 26. But Aaron Savali pretty much brings everything to the table that Kyle Wright could have. Same potential, same age. I guess Savali's regressing, but he should be able to get back above that 80, you'd think. He's also got the 5-pitch mix. Per 9's kind of the same thing, not great, except for the walks per 9 rating. He's got a good clutch rating. He's pretty similarly not having a great year, but he also didn't have a bad season last year, and Kyle Wright did. I guess in fairness, we would only have him for this season, and Kyle Wright we'd have for the next season as well. But we also have to factor in what we're able to get rid of here, because this would be getting rid of 2 players off of my players to shop screen, and one of them being Estevan Florial, who is one of the guys that kind of plugs things up with his minor league options used up, and he can't be sent down. And I know I was just saying that he's been surprisingly good in terms of how he's actually playing. A 271 average, 346 on base, 775 OPS. Like, he's actually been surprisingly good. I guess the other thing that we'd have to consider that I hadn't really thought about, and that would come into effect for this trade also, is how our pitching would be affected and who might get sent down on the pitching side of things. Because as it stands, the game probably still won't be sending down Davy Garcia. Probably also won't be sending down Tukey. So if we're looking at our next lowest rated guys, that's either Tyler Wells or Johnny Lasagna, and we just brought Tyler Wells up, and he could be the one to get sent down. I don't know, man. If I'm being completely honest, if it was only about who I was getting, I'd be taking Kyle Wright. Well, actually, I guess I'd really be taking Luzardo, but this one's out of the question for having Ramos involved. So it's between these two. It's only slight that I would pick Kyle Wright over Savali, but it's the fact that we're getting rid of Florial. Like, that's the big one for me. I don't want to risk him being stuck on the team for, I mean, look at this. He's got 4 more years of team control after this, so probably the sooner we can get rid of him and move on, the better. So I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna part ways with Yoan Moncada after his 8-year tenure. But yeah, he's so bad now. His numbers are terrible. He doesn't have a spot anymore with us having Vlad. He won't be re-signed, so there is no reason to hang on to him. So we're making this trade, and we're gonna be in store for something. I'm sure of that. I'm sure the CPU is gonna have something in store for us for how our roster is gonna look after this trade. But let's see, man. We just added Aaron Savali. This is so not about who we just added, though. It's more about who we were able to get rid of. I have no idea how Aaron Savali is going to fit on the team. I have no idea what the plan is. But what I do know is we get a chance to player lock with him, get him a performance boost, and maybe with that, he edges his way into our rotation. But first, I have to see, what has the CPU done with the team? What are we looking at here? Okay, I'm scared that I'm not immediately seeing what was done. I think it was Jared Schuster that got sent back down, which I guess that's not completely ideal because that loses a lefty for us, and I think he was doing pretty solid. But you know what? I think my fix for that is, since he's still struggling in the rotation and the game decided to bump Hendricks to the bullpen, I'm moving Jake Eder to the pen. Hendricks has been having a really good year, 2.76 ERA. We want to keep him in the rotation, and it could be between Eder or Kopech to get the boot to the bullpen, but I think the fact that we lost a lefty kind of makes that decision for me. But we don't have an extra pitcher, so who did the CPU bring up offensively? Actually, I guess it'd be 2, because we would have had 2 spots to fill. So what do we have? Yoelqui Cespedes and Samad Taylor. Not quite who I was expecting. I mean, the Cespedes one, I was at least partially not expecting, but ready for. The Samad Taylor one, though, I mean, I guess he can play all over the place. But I don't know, you might be thinking, why would I rather have Samad Taylor and Yoelqui Cespedes than Estevan Florial? But the whole reason for that is now if we get a call-up chance for Ramos or for anybody else, and we would get the chance to bring him up to the big leagues and get him that attribute boost, now we can actually send the ideal people down, because Yoelqui He's got none of his minor league options used. Taylor only has the one, so they can both be sent down. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm actually curious. Okay, it still has us ranked third. I wouldn't have been shocked if it dropped us down, because, you know, we did get rid of a 76 overall in favor of, you know, a 65, if you think about it that way. And you know what? I have no frame of reference for how long this episode's gone so far, because I've been sitting here for an hour 15, but I feel like we also haven't really done much. It's just kind of been a lot of me sitting here thinking about things. So I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna debut Aaron Civale and get him hopefully that performance boost going forward. I actually enjoy pitching with Aaron Civale. He's a guy that I used a couple of times in my Pack Attack series, if you guys pay attention to that over in Diamond Dynasty. But yeah, it'd be really big if we could have a good start with him, set him down the right path to get that ERA on the way down. I think he's set up better to succeed as a starter, more than Kopech, more than Eater. So here we go. He's starting with not that much confidence, which I don't really know what exactly that affects. Maybe it just affects the fact that 3 degrees off center on the pitch release. Maybe it would have been a good enough release if the confidence was up. And all right, I'll take that as a first out. Weak pop-up. And all right, I want the punch outs if we have the chance on an 0-2 count like that, but I'll definitely take the weak out still. And there's our punch out. Got him to chase in the dirt. Good first inning from Civale. We need about 6 more innings of that. And man, I'm sitting here kind of like getting angrier about it as I'm thinking about it more. And I know I told you guys that I was just going to accept March to October for what it was after my rant in the first episode of season 2. But man, is it just so annoying, the lack of ability to control the roster in this mode. Like, just the fact that we had to send down Jared Schuster, who is an 80 overall, because the game won't let us release Davy Garcia. Like, I've said it time and time again, back last year with the Sammy Peralta situation, we don't need him on the team. It's not a necessity to make sure that we don't have to pass Davy Garcia through waivers. And because of that, because of how the game's set up this year and the lack of control, we're sticking with a 61 overall over an 80 overall lefty who we would benefit from having much more in the bullpen. But I don't know, that's it. I'm not going to sit here ranting about it this whole start. That's all I wanted to say. You know how frustrated I am. Nothing's going to change. This is what the mode is. You have to expect it. You have to accept it when you play. And there we go. There's another punch out. You know what? I also just realized the defensive alignment here, that Vlad's at first, Eloy's out in left today. Something must have gotten changed and I didn't realize it with the change to our rosters with those 2 new guys coming up. They must have changed things around, so I got to make sure we change it back. Ooh, he should not have made contact on that, but I'll take it. It's another out. 1 time through the order. Things are looking pretty good for Civale. Man, they're not chasing as many pitches as I would have thought, though. Like, I'm making some really tough 0-2 pitches with that slurve, and some of these dudes are just spitting on it. We gonna get it there, Montgomery? Nice play. And 1 pitch to get the weak contact to second base now. And there's another punch out. All right, 4 innings that have absolutely breezed by here in Civale's team debut. There we go. All right, caught him looking on the sinker. And another punch out. I don't know how many strikeouts we're up to. 6? Okay. That's actually a pretty solid number. And there's another one. Things are going kind of decently here so far for Civale. And dude, that slurve has got something working today. Another strikeout on it. That time it was in the zone and caught him looking. And that should get run down by somebody. 1 pitch out is kind of nice at this point in the game with the energy, you know, starting to become a factor. I also didn't even realize until just now glancing down there, but we finally got our run support. We have 1 run on the board. And that's another weak fly ball. So that's 2 times through the order in 6 innings. So you can do the math on what that means. Oh, there's our run support. That's what we were looking for. 5-run lead now. Oh, and that's how he breaks it up. So many foul balls, fouling off really nice pitches, and then weak 86 off the bat up the middle on another good pitch, slider out of the zone. Don't really know what else I could have done there. I did just about everything. But hey, this wasn't a perfect game player lock. This was a full game player lock, and that shouldn't change the fact that this so far is shaping up to be a 3+ outing. And there's another one on that slurve. It's only working to the righties, but we've sat down so many righties on that pitch. That could be a double play, though, to get us back to facing the minimum. Okay. Ooh, and now we have hit the yellow energy to enter back out in the 8th inning. Little sooner than you'd like to see it. And there we go. That's the kind of outcomes we need now that energy is an issue. And all right, another slurve, another out. And oh, Vlad couldn't get it. That was probably the hardest hit ball of the game so far, and it came off the bat at 90. That slurve isn't getting the swing and miss anymore, but we need that. We need to keep it weak if it's going to be made contact on. Okay, I was gonna say it seemed like the break on at least the slurve wasn't reducing as the energy got low, and it's because he has break outlier. I didn't even notice that when I made the trade. So that's definitely a nice little quirk to have. As the energy situation gets worse, he's still gonna have just as much break on all of his pitches. Ooh, that was their new hardest hit ball, but we've got a guy there. Oh, and we couldn't get the strikeout to end it, but more weak contact, and there we go. A complete game, 2-hit shutout facing 1 over the minimum in Aaron Civale's team debut. That is an easy 3+ performance. We get 2 fireballs because of how good it was. And hopefully the 3+ boost with about half the season to go turns Aaron Civale into a really nice starter for us for the rest of this one. I mean, so much of that trade was just about getting rid of who we got rid of. But if on top of that, we added a starter who's going to pitch like Aaron Civale just pitched for us, that will turn that into a seriously big time trade. So the 2 more fireballs boosts that overall fireball up even more. Should be doing plenty more winning here. Series against San Diego. This is our last week of scouting. Hopefully it stops the sim before the draft would happen. Hopefully I didn't push it too far. Ooh, but let's take a look at our guy. I almost forgot here. Second base. And there he is. He got even better. The potential range. At worst, he's going to be an 86 potential, ranked 2nd on our board, 62 overall minimum. So if you figure he hits in the middle, he'll be what, like a 67 overall to start with a 90 to 91-ish potential. And he's a lefty with already really nice contact numbers, vision solid. You know, everything on the right could use a little bit of work. He's not going to be all that fast. The glove's going to take a while to get better. But man, we really might have found a good one here if he falls down to 30. All right, so we're just going to leave the other 2 scouts at what they were doing, but I think finding our guy at second base was enough for scouting that position. So we're gonna hone in on one last guy here. I don't think he looks good, but this might be one of the best names I've seen. All right, but that's it for season 2 on the scouting. Let's hope it stops things before the draft starts, because I'm not doing the draft today. Okay. Oh, and look at what this is. Even after we failed it a couple episodes ago, or last episode, whenever it was, I'm losing track of time, they're giving me another opportunity to fast track Lenyn Sosa. This isn't a call up. They're giving me a second crack at the fast track. And even on his own, he's actually progressing a little bit, up to a 64 overall. He's batting over 300 now in AAA. So hey, I really wanted to get him fast tracked last time. We have another chance. Unfortunately, just with how things are working out, we actually have to wait until the start of next episode. I know that might be what caused him to fail last time, is I didn't squeeze it at the end of the last one, and I did it to start the episode, which we kind of discovered is not the best way to fast track people. It just seems unlucky. But I can't risk playing this fast track with him now and then having the draft start on me. But at least we know that from start to finish, the next episode is going to be an exciting one because we get to start with a Lenyn Sosa fast track, which if we succeed this time could turn into a Lenyn Sosa call up. And then we're going to have our draft. So guys, make sure you hit that like button for me if you enjoyed today's episode, and definitely make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss the next episode. But thanks for watching again today, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time.